Today on our 2016 GMC Sierra 2500, we're going to be installing the Pace Edwards UltraGroove tonneau cover, part number 311-KRC95A17. The UltraGroove is a rigid sliding tonneau cover. It features Pace Edwards rail expansion system, which will allow you to install crossbars, ladder racks, and other accessories. The T-slot on the rails provides easy access to install these accessories. The cover itself is an Armortech deck made out of laminated aluminum panels. It's padded and weather resistant, and because it's made out of aluminum, it's going to resist rust and corrosion. It's easy to operate with the one-turn knob. The pull strap makes retrieving your tonneau easy. The cover features stops every 12 inches so you can secure it in place. This is great for covering partial loads. It's an easy no-drill installation. You'll just need an Allen wrench and a Phillips head screwdriver. You'll want to note that it does block access to your stake pockets. The canister takes up about 12 inches here at the front of your bed. The rails sit on top of your truck bed rails about an inch high, and they sit in about 2 inches. When used in conjunction with a locking tailgate, your bed is completely secure. It's easy to operate even while carrying a load. Now that we've gone over the features, I'll show you how to get it installed. I found that the best way to assemble this is off the truck. We're going to install the rails first. Let's turn it over and remove the paper off the foam padding here. Here on the driver's side, we want to make sure we have the correct rail. The open end is going to face forward, and the weather seal is going to be on the outside. Now the way this works is, we want to line up the underside groove here with the groove inside here. So we'll set it vertical just like this, and then we'll roll it inward. Now we also want to make sure that we clear the cover here. We'll roll it in until it's level, and then we'll push it forward all the way. Just like that. Once we have our rail pushed all the way forward, the holes underneath the assembly will align right here. We can take our large Phillips head screw, we'll take a lock washer, and then a flat washer, and start threading that in place. Once we've got it hand tightened, we can grab a Phillips head screwdriver and tighten it down the rest of the way. We want to be sure not to over tighten. All we're looking for is for flattening out that lock washer. Now we can go ahead and repeat the same process on the opposite side. Now we'll grab an extra set of hands and set the whole assembly in place. Now here at the rear of my rails, I need to set my spacing. And what needs to happen is, we need to make sure there's a 1/4 inch gap from the bottom cap here, right where I'm pointing, to our tailgate. So when I lay it back down, I can take my included tool. I'm going to take the smaller of the two tabs, so this one here. This is going to give us a 1/4 inch gap. Looks like it just needs to come back just a hair. And we'll need to check this for both sides. Now the next step would be to install the foam gasket right on top of your bulkhead. Our truck had a tonneau cover previously installed with a foam gasket. We're going to leave ours in place. But it just needs to be placed right before it begins to roll on the inside of the truck bed. So right here. With everything in place, now we can install our top cover. The two holes on top are going to line up with the two brackets here. We'll need to make sure that the bristles here are pointing towards the inside of the bed. Now we'll just set it in place. Now our nut here is adjustable, so I'm going to line up the top cover hole with the nut and then loosely install the top cover. So we'll take our hardware, Phillips head screwdriver, and begin loosely installing that. Now as we're tightening it down, we'll need to be sure that the front of the top cover here aligns with our rails. Before we completely tighten down this side, let's go ahead and start the other side. With everything in place and aligned, we can go ahead and finish tightening it down. Perfect. Next, we'll install our clamp extensions. They're all labeled, so you want to make sure you put them on in the correct spot. We're going to start here on the passenger side. We'll take the front right. Want to be sure that the shims are facing towards our rail. Now they're going to slide on to this channel here. It helps if you lift up the tonneau rail slightly, and we're going to slide them on all the way to the front corner. Then we can put on our back right and slide it just slightly forward to about there, and then we can repeat the same process on the opposite side. Now we want to be sure to slide the clamp extensions to where there's going to be plenty of room underneath our rail. Once we've got it in place, we can take a 5/32 Allen wrench and tighten them down in place. And you will have to provide your own. It shouldn't take much, just get it nice and secure, and then we can repeat the same process with the other three. Now let's assemble our clamps. We'll take our bracket, we're going to slide it on to our clamp extension, then we'll take our pivot arm and we'll slide it onto the bracket. Next we'll install our turn knob and our nut. So we'll take the nut and we're going to hold it behind our pivot arm, take the hand knob, put it through our bracket and our pivot arm, and begin threading it into the nut. Once the turn knob makes contact with the bracket, you can tighten it down the rest of the way, and you can see as we're tightening, it's pulling down the rail. Get it nice and secure, and we can repeat the same process with the other three sides. For the front, next to the canister, you'll want to be sure and use the longer bracket. Now it's time to install our kickstands. You get two, they're for your rear brackets. We want to make sure that the foot here is going to wind up making contact with the inside of our bed in this direction. So I've got it positioned away to where we can easily put it in place. We're going to slide it into the hole on the bottom of our bracket. Once it's there, I'm going to turn it, and we want to make sure that that foot sits level on the inside of the bed. Then we'll take a flat washer and a lock washer, put that on the other side, and then put on our wing nut. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. We want to make sure that that foot is horizontal, just as you see it here. Then we want it to make contact with our bed. So we can come back here and tighten it until it makes contact. Then when it does make contact, we can tighten it up a little bit more with the hand knob just behind it, just like this. And again, we just need to make sure that foot sits flat. Then we can go ahead and repeat this process on the opposite side. The tonneau cover also comes with 4 drain hoses. Now for demonstration purposes, we won't be installing these, but the 2 thinner ones go here at the rear, and they just thread on in. Then you would run the hose out an access hole inside the bed. If you don't have one, you may need to drill. The larger hoses just snap in underneath the canister, and again, you would just run those out through an access point in the bed. But for demonstration purposes, we won't be running these. And finally, if you'd like, you can install the hook and loop strip underneath the driver's side rail. And this is so you can keep your strap out of the way when you've got cargo in your bed. With everything installed, we're all set. We can go ahead and close it up. And that's going to complete our installation of the Pace Edwards UltraGroove tonneau cover, part number 311-KRC95A17 on our 2016 GMC Sierra 2500.